In today's climate, nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights today. Shoot better, stay safer. Crimson Trace.
This is Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, broadcasting nationwide. Have a question? Want to make a comment? Call Tom now at 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. That's 866-825-5486. Or email tom@guntalk.com. Now, here's Tom Gresham.
I'm so glad you could be with us. We are having a good time today. We're talking about guns and shooting and suppressors and different kinds of guns and rifles and pistols. And we haven't really gotten into shotguns yet, but that's always out there. We can talk about that. I actually, I got a little lesson on shotguns this week. I learned, you'd think after a while you'd learn all this stuff. No. I've been doing it wrong completely. All my over and under shotguns, putting them away without centering up the top lever. And everybody's going to say, Tom, I can't believe you didn't know that. You don't know what you don't know. What can I tell you? I got schooled. Yes, I did. Bud Feeney, my buddy over at SIG, who is a top trap shooter, was taking a look. I brought a couple of my over and unders in for him to take a look at. He looked at it and said, well, there's one thing right off the bat. You've got to push the little button in and center up the top lever before you put it in the case. I don't know how. After all these years, no one has ever mentioned that to me, and I never knew that. But, well, he said because if you don't do that, it can get bent. So it's kind of sticking out to the side. If you bend it, then you've got an expensive issue going on there. So anyway, there you go. Oh, this is interesting from the newspaper The Hill. It's all about Capitol Hill in politics. Hillary's White House bid energizes gun control supporters. It starts off, gun control advocates have high hopes for Hillary Clinton's presidential run, viewing her as an ally who can finish the push for tightened background checks that have stalled in President Obama's second term. Clinton, the frontrunner for the Democratic nomination, has been a staunch advocate of gun control proposals, such as expanding background checks and banning assault weapons. Last summer, she ripped groups that oppose those ideas as out of step with public opinion. Quote, we cannot let a minority of people, and that's what it is a minority of people, hold a viewpoint that terrorizes the majority of people, Clinton said during a CNN town hall event. So you are a minority of people and you are a terrorist, according to Hillary Clinton, because people who terrorize people are by definition terrorists. So she says, we are a small percentage of the population. Yeah, we're 110 million people who own guns. And we terrorize the population with our views. So we can't, I love this. Note that she doesn't say we can't allow you to have guns. She says we cannot allow a minority of people to hold a viewpoint. Huh? I said something on Twitter this week. I always try to draw an analogy here because people kind of get confused. Because, of course, we all believe in the First Amendment. Generally speaking, I would say all of us believe that banning books, burning books is a terrible thing. Let the ideas out there, let them circulate, and it'll sort itself out. If you said to a person, most people, that you are anti-First Amendment, they would be offended. So I said, but it's funny because when you talk to people, say, well, you're a gun banner. So, well, no, I don't want to ban all guns. I just want to ban some guns, just the assault weapons. If you burned some books, would you not by definition be a book burner? And if you call for banning some guns, are you not by definition a gun banner? Of course you are. Hillary Clinton is a gun banner. She wants to ban the most popular firearms being made in America today. Sometimes I wonder if it's even worth it for me to point this out because I did the exact same thing both times that Barack Obama ran. And unbelievably, there were still some gun owners who said, oh, yeah, he can't do anything without Congress. Yeah, really? Like trying to ban ammunition, like he already has stopped the importation of some guns. He's done what he can through Customs and Border Patrol. And he keeps calling for the banning of guns. Barack Obama's a gun banner. Hillary Clinton's a gun banner. And here's the Hill saying gun ban groups are sure hoping that Hillary gets in because she's their gal. She'll ban guns for them. Holy cow. All right, let's go to line 2. Savannah has joined us out of Oklahoma. Hi, Savannah. How are you?
Hi, Tom. I'm doing fine.
Good. How can I help you?
I'm 13 years old, and I was wondering what would be the best handgun to start out with for target practice and maybe even for protection. I already have a Henry Weston 22 long rifle, lever action. Mm-hmm. So, but we were wondering about a pistol.
Okay. First of all, there are 2 different categories here because you've asked about a good handgun to start off with and for target practice. And then you also ask about self-defense. And those 2 probably are going to be different guns. So let's start with the first handgun and target shooting. I'm going to recommend a 22 rimfire caliber gun just because it is... The recoil is low. The ammunition is still pretty inexpensive, and you can find it now. 22 ammo was a little hard to find for quite a while, but you can find it now. And I would say probably any of the semi-automatics. I mean, it's kind of a personal choice whether it's a revolver or a semi-automatic. And let me ask you, do you have a leaning one way or the other on revolver versus semi-automatic?
I really don't. I would probably lean towards semi-automatic, but either one really doesn't bother me.
Okay.
I mean,
all right. Well, there are a lot of really nice 22 semi-automatics. Smith & Wesson has the M&P and 22. It's very nice. And it's kind of a nice small, fits your hand. Ruger's, they have been making this wonderful series of 22 semi-automatics for many, many years. My suggestion for you would be to go into a store, a pretty good-sized store that has a selection that you can look at and you can hold them and try them. And obviously, it has to be your parents who buy it. You can't buy a handgun. And then, of course, you'll be using it under their supervision. But I would start with a 22, shoot that, because you're going to be able to shoot a 22 all your life, and you'll enjoy having it. And then after a while, you're going to say, I want a bigger gun, a self-defense gun, when you get older. And probably looking at maybe a 9mm in a semi-automatic at that point. What kind of shooting do you do now? You say you got the lever-action Henry. Do you just do target shooting?
Yes, I do. I do target shooting, and that's about it. Shoot some squirrels sometimes, but...
That'll work. Squirrels are good to shoot. That's and good to eat, too. So there you go. But that's what I would do, Savannah. I would be looking at a 22 rimfire, semi-automatic, and just look at all the different choices that they have at the gun store. Now, here's the thing. If you happen to live where they have a store that also has a shooting range, a lot of times you can rent different guns and try out different guns, and that's a great way to go, because then you can try them and see which one you like.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you. I wish you luck with it, and it's great to hear from somebody who is enjoying the shooting sports. There you go. That's Savannah out of Oklahoma. I'll tell you what, take a quick break here, then we'll be right back. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in. I'm Tom Gresham, and this is Gun Talk.
This is Masad Ayub. If you carry a gun for self-defense, I urge you to join the Armed Citizens Legal Defense Network. The network was formed to help armed citizens fight the legal battle after a self-defense incident. I'm a member and serve on their advisory board, and I advise all lawfully armed citizens to become members too.
Protect yourself. Go to armedcitizensnetwork.org. That's armedcitizensnetwork.org.
If you're looking for a safe and trusted way to sell your firearms, look no further than Dury's Gun Shop. I trusted them to sell my dad's collection. They built their business for over 50 years on honesty and customer service. Dury's Guns will buy any size collection or estate, none too big or too small. Selling your firearms to Dury's Guns is easy. Go with the pros. I trust Dury's Guns. DurysGuns.com.
Brownells has always given you an advantage with their huge selection of forever guaranteed gun parts, ammunition, shooting accessories, and more. And now they're offering you the Edge. For just $49.95, Brownells Edge covers your standard shipping and any return shipping cost for 1 year. Brownells Edge members also receive discount expedited shipping and exclusive offers. Get the Edge today by visiting brownells.com/edge.
All right, back with you. 866-TALK-GUN. Got an email from Liston Matthews. He called last week. They were trying to get this bill passed in the Tennessee legislature. Well, they have passed it. It's Parks carry in Tennessee. The governor has signed it, so now it's legal to carry in state and city parks in Tennessee. So good move. That's, you just got to keep pushing. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep pushing. It's never over because they're always coming after you. They're always wanting to marginalize you. They're always wanting to say, well, here's some places that you shouldn't be able to have a gun. No, actually, I can't actually think of a place where you shouldn't be able to have a gun. Well, what about schools? Well, what about schools? If good people were at those schools, could they have stopped those shootings? I don't know, but they would have had a chance. But by guaranteeing that nobody with a gun was at Sandy Hook or Columbine or these other places, then you guarantee that people are defenseless and nobody could stop the bad guy. So yes, I think you should be able to carry in schools. Well, what about city parks? Of course. Do not bad things happen in city parks? You can go on and on. I just can't think of a place that makes any sense for good people not to be able to carry. Maybe you can. I'm just not there. I'm going to go up to line 4. Let's see here. Looks like I got 2 line 4s, guys. So I'm going to try Carl in Longview, Texas. Hey, Carl.
Hey, Tom.
You there, Carl? Hey there.
Hey, I've got a can you hear me good?
I can hear you.
Okay. I have a Browning 9mm high power, and I was at the range the other day, and the gun misfired after I fired the first 3 rounds. I took the magazine out, cleared the jam, put the magazine back in, released the slide lock, fired 1 round, it misfired again.
Now, tell me what you mean when you say, wait, stop. Tell me what you mean when it says misfire. Are you talking about you pulled the trigger, it didn't go off, or are you telling me it didn't feed correctly, or what exactly is happening? Failure to fire?
It jammed trying to feed around into the chamber.
Okay, that's not a misfire. Do you have a radio on in the background by chance?
No, sir.
Okay, I just was hearing myself back there. Okay, that's not what I call a misfire. Misfire to me is you pull the trigger and it doesn't go bang. So what you're saying it is misfeeding. It's not feeding correctly.
Yes, sir. It misfed. Then when I put a magazine back in it and tried to fire again, the hammer would not fall. I assumed that there was something wrong with the gun. I left the range, came back home, disassembled the firearm to see if I could see anything wrong. I could not locate anything. I put the gun back together, and when I did, I reinserted the factory magazine that came with the firearm, and the weapon worked just fine.
Okay.
And it was then that I realized that maybe my problem was the 2 magazines that I was using. They are aftermarket magazines.
Yep. That's not uncommon. That actually happens more often than you would imagine. Magazines are the leading source of misfeeding problems with guns.
Is there any way I could correct that?
Buy better magazines.
I kind of knew that one, but
I know. I'm messing with you now. Okay. I think you did the sleuthing, you did the detective work, and you figured it out. That's exactly what's going on. In fact, if you listen over the years, when people say, I've got a problem with my gun, it's not feeding, and I say, it's probably the magazine. Try a different magazine, and when they do, more times than not, it fixes it. Did you buy those aftermarket magazines recently?
Sir?
Those magazines you bought, the aftermarket magazines, did you buy those recently, or have you had them for a while?
I've had them for a while.
Okay. Tell you what I would do. Take you a Sharpie or something and mark your magazines, number them, 1, 2, 3, however many you have, and then go back out to the range and then make note of when you have a misfeed and say, okay, which magazine is it? Take that magazine and put it to the side, and then get down just to the magazines you have that work. The other magazines, and somebody asked me, said, how do I fix a magazine that's not working right? I said, well, I usually like to fix them with a ball peen hammer, and then I like to store them in that round thing they have at every shooting range where you put all the junk, and I just throw them away. That's how I fix magazines that don't work well. So then basically go buy some good magazines, whether it's from Browning or from somebody else. But thing is, chances are if you're paying $5 or $6 or $7 for magazines, you're not getting good stuff. You're paying twice or 3 times that, you're going to get into a better class of magazine, if you will. But no, you figured it out, and I congratulations on you figuring that out. That was a good move. I want to talk to, let's see, John in Nevada on line 2. Hey, John.
Yes. Can you hear me, Tom?
I got you. What do you have there?
Okay, I've got a 1873 Colt 45 that my grandfather bought new, and I take it out and shoot it from time to time. It's in excellent condition. Yeah, 45 long Colt. There's nothing wrong with shooting that gun, is there?
No, there's really not. If you've been shooting it and it's working, I would keep shooting. Now, the one thing I would probably do if it were me is I would not use anything that's a heavy load in it. And in fact, if you look around, you can find these loads that are made for cowboy action shooting. They're kind of lighter loads. So that's what I think I would do with that, just to not do a lot of wear and tear on it. What's the condition of the gun? Is it in pretty good shape?
It's in mint condition. Colt wanted to buy it back. I actually made a set of grips for it out of wood, out of walnut, and put them on, and then, or actually had the gunsmith put them on. He offered me $1,600 for the original grips, and I wouldn't sell them because, that I'm going to give them to my grandson one of these days. So it shoots good. Everything works well on it. It's like brand new. I mean, other than, the age it is,
Wow. One thing you might want to do, if and you may already have done it, I don't know, but I would be tempted to get an appraisal done on that revolver for somebody who's really a good gun appraiser. You may find out that it's worth more than you think. You might want to make sure it's included on your insurance.
Well, now, who would I go about doing that with? I don't know where to go with that.
Probably the first order of business would be get a copy of the Blue Book of Gun Values, or any gun store's got a copy of that, and look it up there, and they'll have it by serial numbers or serial number range, and get a rough idea. And then if it looks interesting from there, you may want to do a little poking around online and find, in fact, you know what you can do also? You can contact Colt, and they will send you a letter. I think they charge $100 for it, but they'll send you a letter that documents the gun. Or you already got the letter?
Yeah, I got the letter. I got the documentation, when it was made, when it was purchased, and all that stuff. So it's just, I love to shoot it. I've got a couple other 6-shooters like that I like to shoot in the 45 long Colt, but that is so accurate and so good to shoot. But I didn't know. I don't want to mess it up, so.
All right. There's a group called the Colt Collectors Association, and on the internet it's coltcollectors.com. Real easy, coltcollectors.com. I would take some pictures of the gun, maybe go online and ask some of the folks there their thoughts on that. But it sounds like you got a great gun that's going to be passed down in the family, and I applaud you for that. Shoot it, take care of it. I would not use heavy loads in it, but why not? It's a piece of history, and it's pretty cool. So I would suggest that. But yeah, definitely check on the value and make sure that it's listed on your homeowner's insurance by name. Also, of course, one of the best places to get good, inexpensive, relatively inexpensive gun insurance is your NRA membership. I think you get $2,500 with your membership, and then you can buy additional insurance at a pretty good rate. So it's actually one of the best, in addition to, of course, what they do, it's one of the best benefits of being an NRA member is being able to get the great insurance they have. If you're like most people, you started off with 1 or 2 guns, and then you turn around and you go, wow, where'd all these guns come from? And you may not have insured them. So just kind of food for thought. If you've not thought about that, you may want to look at it and go, chances are your homeowner's insurance maxes out at about $2,000. Doesn't take much in the way of firearms to go past $2,000. Once you get past that, they're not insured. Now, you can add them to your homeowner's insurance with a rider, put it on your insurance. Just talk to your agent about that. And you'll need a list of them, serial number, etc. As I say, you can also include them with your NRA's insurance. So just something for you to consider. It will surprise you, I think, when you look at it and you go, wow, let's see, I've got 2 bolt-action hunting rifles and a couple of shotguns. I've got 4 pistols. Oh, yeah, well, I've also got the 22s. I didn't count those. Oh, and that AR, and then you say, oh, yeah, and I got scopes on them. Let's see, and I've got like $300 into each scope, and then there's those binoculars. And then, look at how much you have in ammo. You may have a lot of money sitting there in ammo, especially if you're one of those guys who've been buying it for a while. When everybody else was saying, where's all the ammo? You're going, it's actually at my house. I'm not sure if you can insure the ammo. I don't know how that would work. There's a thought. Has anybody ever looked into insuring ammo? How would that work? I actually don't know. I just know that it doesn't take a lot of ammo to add up to as much or more than one of your guns. So just food for thought. But anyway, if you've not looked into it, check that out. At the very least, take pictures of all your guns and store those images somewhere. Safe deposit box, something, throw the memory card or hard drive or all that, so at least you can document, or in the cloud. There you go, in the cloud. Have that information somewhere and prove that you owned them.
Covering all aspects of gun ownership every week on this fine radio station. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
This is interesting. Just got an email from John Lott, of course. John Lott from the Crime Research Organization. Just does great work. He wrote the book, More Guns, Less Crime, also The Bias Against Guns and others. He's an economist statistician who provides us with the intellectual ammunition we need. He says, given how often self-defense advocates have to deal with Bloomberg's groups, so I thought you might find this exchange of interest. At the end of my appearance on C-SPAN's Washington Journal, I followed the producer's advice and directly raised the issue of Bloomberg's research director's refusal to appear on the show at the same time that I did. All right, here's the deal. Michael Bloomberg's research director, his anti-gun research director, refuses to appear on a show with John Lott. Well, that'd be because he would get his clock cleaned, because he's going to throw out a bunch of bogus stuff, and John Lott's going to say, that's not true. Here's the stats, and here's the sources, and we've researched that, and, oh, that'd be great. I'd love to see that. Well, it's probably smart on their part not to do it, but it does show what cowards they are, Bloomberg and his group. Did you ever notice how often when newspapers do editorials that are anti-gun, and on their websites, they won't allow comments on them? On other subjects, they will. But on gun control subjects, they won't allow comments because people immediately go in and say, you're wrong on this, and this. Because here are the stats, here are the sources, here's the deal. And they don't want that. They want to be able to just make their claims. By the way, I guess you caught it that this past week it contained Earth Day. I remember the first Earth Day. I was actually writing for the college newspaper. I was writing a column called Woods and Waters. And I talked about how Earth Day is great. It's good for the rest of you to have awakened and joined us being hunters, who have been Earth Day people forever. Hunters are the leading conservationists in the U.S. Hunters provide more money than anybody else for conservation. We're talking $3 million a day and more just in excise taxes and hunting license fees, and all of that goes to habitat restoration and conservation efforts. Here's one for you. In 1907, only 41,000 elk remained in North America, thanks to the money and hard work invested by hunters to restore and conserve habitat. Now that number has gone from 41,000 to more than 1 million elk in the United States. In 1900, there were only 500,000 white-tailed deer in the United States. And now with all the money and the conservation work by hunters, there's more than 32 million, from 500,000 to 32 million. It goes on, whether it's antelope or whatever. Let's see. Hunters pay 11% tax on guns, ammo, bows, and arrows to generate $371 million a year for conservation. And you're thinking, oh, yeah, well, they get taxed for that. No, we taxed ourselves. We, the hunters, went to Congress years ago and said, we want to put money into conservation. It's called the Pittman-Robertson Act. We taxed ourselves to provide habitat for wildlife. Hunters are the original conservationists. Line 1, Michael. It's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Red Stick. Hey, Michael, you're on Gun Talk.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I just went over the swamp there called Henderson Swamp on Highway 10. I'm heading west out there. And I was just clicking through the channels trying to find something to listen to, and I ran across your station. So I'm a first-time listener, first-time caller.
Wonderful.
Hey, but I just recently, I'm a retired Marine. I retired last month, and I was traveling back across the country visiting some relatives. And one of my relatives pulled out an AK-47 with a 9-inch barrel. And I said, hey, brother, do you have a stamp for that? And he goes, oh, no, I ain't got a stamp. Well, he didn't know what the heck I was talking about, first of all. I said, for that small barrel, that short barrel, do you have a stamp for that? And he goes, no, I ain't got one of them. And I said, you know you got to have one, right? And he goes, oh, no, they got rid of that. You don't have to have that no more. They changed the law last month. Well, I've been on the road for a month. Did they change the law, or he just don't know?
Two things could have happened here. Well, first of all, let me back up. You're exactly right. If you have a rifle with a barrel shorter than 16 inches, it's called a short barrel rifle, SBR, and you have to pay the $200 tax just like a suppressor, just like a machine gun, and do the waiting period, the whole deal. So, no, you're correct. So either he didn't do that and he's got an illegal gun, or the other possibility, it occurs to me, is, was this perhaps made originally as an AK pistol? Because if it was, then it would be illegal.
Well, I looked at it. When I first looked at it, I said to him, all I did is, my eyes went straight to the short barrel. That popped out on me, But then I looked back at the stock, and he has one of those clamp stocks on it. And I said, this is the pistol with the clamp stock, the one that clamps around your forearm. And but he insisted, no. It's you don't have to have, and he's one of these guys you can't argue with. He said, no, anybody can own a short barrel now.
No, he's wrong. If it is a short barrel rifle, you do have to have the $200 tax stamp, and there's a federal problem, big time problem if you don't. If it was made as a pistol originally, then it's okay to have it as a pistol, but you cannot put a shoulder stock on it, but you could use the arm brace on it, which has been ruled as legal. So and you're right, it's a little bit confusing, and some people get confused on it. But no, Michael, you're exactly right, and good for you for letting him know. And I hope you can get back to him and say, hey, brother, you need to check on this, because if this is actually a rifle and somebody cut the barrel off to 9 inches, we have a serious problem. That thing should be sleeping at the bottom of the big lagoon out there. So listen, I appreciate your call. I'm glad you tuned in. I appreciate that. I do want to drop all the way down to line 3. I got to get Matthew on here real fast because he got a good question for us. Matthew is out of Mary, Louisiana. Hello, Matthew.
Hello, Tom. You were talking about that House bill that is it being introduced in this legislature?
Yes, it's actually. No, it is going to be heard on Wednesday at the state legislature. So you need to contact everybody right now. It's House Bill 488. The number is 488. It changes the definition of domestic violence, and it would make it possible to where if you even just threaten, I'm going to knock your block off, or hey, if don't do that, or I'm going to punch you in the nose, that becomes a domestic violence, a threat, and that could rob you of your gun rights forever. You could lose your ability to own a gun forever.
So you could just be quoting Ralph Cramden and wind up losing your Second Amendment rights.
To the moon, Alice.
Good heavens, to the moon, Alice. All right, I'm going to amplify this tomorrow. Thanks.
All right, good deal. Yeah, it's House Bill 488 in Louisiana. If you're in Louisiana, contact your elected representatives. This thing just popped up the radar, and it's a seriously bad bill. We're hoping we can stomp that thing out. Again, it's why you have to belong to your state organization. All right? Excuse me. Oh, gosh, we're hitting the break time, and I'm sitting there just yammering away, so I appreciate your patience on that. Tell you what, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, I've got Mike. I've got Mike. If your name is Mike, might as well call in. We'll get another Mike in here. Don't go far. 866-TALK-GUN.
The Black Hills. There's nothing like it on Earth. The kind of place where characters become legends. Wild Bill Hickok, Crazy Horse, Calamity Jane. Pick any part of the world and you'll find people go there to make it their own. But this is where people come to get made. This is the place that made the people who make the best ammo on Earth. Black Hills Ammunition.
You may be a new shooter, a longtime gun owner, or even a police officer or soldier. No personal defense handgun is fully equipped without a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge, Crimson Trace. Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at shopguntalk.com. Get prepared. Shopguntalk.com.
The 100% American-made Ruger American Rifle is now paired with the 100% American-made Redfield Revolution 4-Plex Rifle Scope, making it an American icon and rifle scope package offering. The Ruger American Rifle with Redfield Revolution Rifle Scope maintains all of the features of the full-size Ruger American Rifle and also includes a Redfield Revolution 3 to 9x40 rifle scope that offers resettable stainless steel finger-click AccuTrack adjustment. The Ruger American Rifle with Redfield Revolution Rifle Scope, another American-made product from Ruger.
All righty. This is my mama's shotgun. Model 12, 20 gauge with a polychoke on it. She was a little short lady, about 5 feet tall, when she stood way up high. So the stock was cut way down on it, and as we grew up, each of us got to use that shotgun when we were little kids. And I kept it around just because as we get young kids at our families, I got 2 granddaughters. They're going to need a little short stocked 20 gauge shotgun and a Model 12. Pretty cool, classic, with a polychoke. Why not? 866-TALK-GUN, get you in there. Oh, I just clicked on, during the break, of course, I'm looking at gun sites, web on the interweb here. And Springfield Armory has a cool deal going. Let's see. Purchase any M1A rifle and receive 3 extra 20-round magazines free. And they've got the new precision adjustable stock. I actually had Rob Latham in the studio with me Friday, and we were looking at this. This is one seriously cool, all ambidextrous M1A rifle with an adjustable stock, and they finally have it set up where it takes a scope easily. If you haven't looked at it, it's pretty cool. So there you go. Let's see. Mike, line 4 in Lexington, Kentucky. Hey, Mike, you moved out of New York?
I did. I was a 22-year infantry soldier, and when I decided to move back to New York, because that's where my parents were, I also became a reserve sheriff's deputy, but then they got crazy after Sandy Hook there, and in the middle of the night passed that SAFE Act, which basically completely trampled upon the Second Amendment, and I just said, finally, enough was enough, and me and the wife packed up, and we looked around the country for the states with the best gun laws and the climate we could tolerate, and we landed in Lexington, Kentucky.
Wow. So what's the story about your friend having his permit revoked?
Well, I still got friends up there in occupied territory, and he called the other day, and he had gone to buy another handgun, which is an arduous process in New York. Even if you've got a permit, you gotta buy the gun, then you gotta get the serial number and take it down to the sheriff's office, and the sheriff has to take it to the judge, who has to issue a coupon, which you have to go back to the sheriff, which you have to go down and pick up the coupon to go get your gun and pick it up. Then you got to take the gun back to the sheriff's department so they can record the serial number. I mean, the process in and of itself is ludicrous. Wow. And but he went and bought another handgun, and when he showed up at the sheriff's department to get the coupon, they said, "Well, your driver's license address doesn't match your address on your permit." And he says, "Well, yeah." He says, "I moved." Well, that's a violation of your permit, and we're revoking your permit for 5 years. You need to turn in all your handguns. And they slapped him with a $250 fine, $180 court fee, and they took away all his handguns.
They took away his handguns because he had not notified them that he had moved and had a different address.
Yeah, he had an address within the same county. It wasn't even like he moved.
Right.
You know, he didn't move across the state. Now, on a similar note, when I left the state of New York, I came to Kentucky. I got my driver's license. I got a permit to carry concealed in Kentucky. Of course, in Kentucky, you can carry a gun on your belt all day long where everybody can see it, and there's no problem. But, you know, you apply for the permit. You do the things you're supposed to do. But I said, well, I'm going to go back to New York at some point to probably visit some friends. So I said, well, I'm going to apply for an out-of-state New York permit because New York doesn't recognize anybody else's permit. And so I sent away for the booklet. I get instead a letter from the state police that says, well, you had a New York state permit that you failed to turn in, meaning physically turn the permit in to the sheriff's department before you leave the state. So I've been charged with a violation of the Crime Act, with a violation of the law, and am supposed to bring my permit to the county court in New York State, and also stand before the judge for my rap on the knuckles, apparently. That was in the letter, basically saying
I don't think I'd go back there. I don't think I would ever go back. I don't think I'd ever step foot in the state of New York. It's a violation to not physically turn in your permit after you have moved out of the state. I would be tempted to come to some variation of. I can't even say what I would tell him. I'm not allowed to say that. Let me talk to Mike on line 1. He's in Texas. Oh, I tell you what, we don't have time. Mike, don't go anywhere. You're going to be first up when we come back from this break. I got 30 seconds, less than that now. So I've got Mike in Texas. I got Mike in New Mexico. See, I told you, if your name is Mike, call in. You're going to get in here. We'll be talking about Springfield Armory guns. We're going to talk about suppressors, getting a trust on it, and we still got time to get you in. And, of course, we still have the after show coming up. So there's a lot of time. We can absolutely handle that. Again, it's tom@guntalk.com. You can shoot me a note there. You can also call us, 866-TALK-GUN. My name's Tom Gresham. We call this Tom Gresham's Gun Talk for good reason.
Just because we're wrapping up on the air doesn't mean we're done talking about guns. Stick around for the after show. It's our podcast-only version designed to include all the stuff we simply couldn't fit into a regular show. Call in now at 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, back to Tom.
Just got an email from somebody that says, on the topic of insuring your ammo, just insure it for $10,000, then go to the range and shoot it up and file a claim. I don't think that's the way to go. Let's go to the first Mike on line 1. He's in Texas. Hey, Mike, what you got there?
Well, Tom, I was in a gun shop yesterday, and I was playing with a Springfield. I think it's an XD 3.3 compact 45.
Mm-hmm.
And I wondered if you had any familiarity with that gun.
I do. I've shot that gun. I mean, I haven't shot it a lot. I probably have, I don't know, between 50 and 100 rounds through it. What can I help you with?
Well, malfunctions?
No. The XDs just work. I haven't had any problems. Now, I haven't shot it a lot, but I have shot on any given day. There's a pretty good chance you're going to see me carrying, or you won't see me carrying, actually, a Springfield. And I've shot Springfields a lot. I have found the XDs to be a particularly reliable firearm. I haven't had any problems with them. The 3.3 is obviously a small 45. It's very accurate. Now, they do have they've got the new, what do they call it? The Mod 2. It's a Springfield XD Mod 2. It has a little bit different grip. Internally, it's exactly the same. And it's funny, I was talking to Rob Latham, who's with Springfield Armory. He says, look, if you try them both in your hands and you really like the Mod 2, buy that. If you can't tell the difference, don't pay the difference, get the other one, because you're going to save about $100. I think it's an excellent carry gun. I assume you're talking about using it as a carry gun.
Yes.
Yeah, I think if it fits your hand, and that's the main thing, if it feels good in your hand, then I would say absolutely buy it and use it. Take it out and shoot it. The only thing is, on these smaller guns, when you shoot them, you got to have a good firm grip on them to give them some resistance for recoil, and then they'll work. So there you go. But I think you'll like it. I think it's a nice gun, and they have good triggers. So I appreciate you calling. Let me get Mike from New Mexico in here quickly. Mike, you got a question about suppressors?
Yes, I was looking at setting up a trust to get a suppressor, but there's nobody in New Mexico that does that according to the Silencer Shop website. Can I go out of state to another attorney to do that?
Oh, sure. Go online to guntrustlawyer.com, and he can take care of you. So it's guntrustlawyer.com. You're in New Mexico. I'm clicking on New Mexico on his website. Yep, good to go. So he will help you get set up and get it going for you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, good deal. Yeah, it's guntrustlawyer.com. Dave, I think it's Golden, does a good job with that. Why use a trust? Well, two reasons. One is if you have a trust, you don't have to go say, Mother may I, to the chief law enforcement officer of your parish or county. And some of the sheriffs will not allow that. In fact, our sheriff, where I live, will not okay anybody to get a suppressor or any NFA item. So we just get trust to go around it. And number two, if you put everything in the trust, you can put your wife, your son, you can put your friends, you can put anybody you want to in there. If and when you die, because, well, there's no if to it, you are going to die, then you don't have any issues with succession of your suppressors or NFA stuff. It all is in the trust, and the trust just continues. The people of the trust can do that. So there you go. So we have after show coming up. You could get in on that if you call us right now, 866-TALK-GUN. We got a little bit more room. And also, we're just a little bit crazier when it comes to the after show. In the meantime, ask somebody to go to the range with you. Invite them to go out. It is fun to take somebody to the range and introduce them to shooting. Do it safely. Do it responsibly. Get them eye and hearing protection, of course. And make sure you join your state organization, your gun rights organization. That's how you stay informed. In the meantime, make it a commitment. Be safe out there.